Welcome to Timesple multiplication game. So this is what the board looks like. We go ahead and click on start so that I explain the features to you. On the left bottom corner, we have the information box. It indicates that it's the turn of player red to play. Just below that, it tells us player red has 2 moves left to make. Lastly, it indicates that player red has 5 more cards to play. Every player actually starts with 5 cards. Coming to the right side of the game board, you realize there are only 3 cards displayed. You might then be wondering, why are there just 3 cards? Since I said a player starts with 5 cards. Clicking on the down scroll reveals the remaining 2 cards. Below here we have the play pieces. Because it's the turn of red, we have the red play pieces displayed. I'm going to hand over to David so he demonstrates the game to you.
Thank you. My name is David. So this is the game of Timesple, and this is how our board looks like. This is called the inner play circle, and this is the outer play circle. And these are our cards. At each time, you're supposed to eliminate 1 card or attempt to eliminate 1 card. So here you'll be wondering what these big numbers are. These big numbers, you can play any of the big numbers on the card. And then you'd wonder, what are these small numbers here? These small numbers are clues actually. So it's just telling you that 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So what it means is that 3 times numbers 1 to 6 equals the numbers on the card. But if you're really good with your multiplication, you would know that 2 other numbers can also multiply to give you 6. 6 times 1 can also multiply to give you 6. And so can 3 times 2 also multiply to give you 6. So these are just guidelines. You don't necessarily need to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and start a game for you to learn as I play. Click once on your play piece. I choose to play 7 times 8, which is equal to 56. So I move 1 play piece, or my first play piece, to either the inner or outer circle. I choose to put mine on the inner circle. And then the next to 8. So I put it on the outer circle. 1 play piece must be on the inner and the other on the outer. Whichever you choose first, make sure they are in alternate circles. So this is 7 times 8, which is equal to 56. So we double click on the card, this card, and I've been able to eliminate 1 of my cards. You come down and click on the next button to give your next player the opportunity to play. The next player is blue. When we go to the information box, like it said for the player red, you realize that it's the turn of blue to play. Blue has 2 moves to make, and blue has 5 cards left. So we have all these numbers to play. I choose to play 11 times 6, which is 66. So I click on my play piece and I put my first play piece on 11. This time I'll put it on the outer circle, and then I put the next on 6. So I have to put it on the inner circle. So that's 6 times 11, or 11 times 6, which is equal to 66. So we double click on the card, eliminate that card, and as usual click on next to give my opponents the opportunity to play. It's now the turn of player red. So you might be wondering, how come there are no play pieces down here? We have moved all the play pieces to the board, so we are now going to move from the board. Here the information box has changed, or the information in the information box has changed, because we have been able to eliminate 1 card, so we are now left with 4 more cards to play. So let's think of our next move. In our next move, we have one play piece on 8, another play piece on 7. I want to play something like 8 times 5, which is equal to 40. And so I move this 2 steps, and I have no more moves to make. At each time, it's a player's turn to play. Like I said, you just have 2 moves to make. You can make 1 move if that eliminates a card. So we double click on the card to eliminate it and click on next to give the blue player the opportunity to play. So it's now the turn of player blue. Player blue has one play piece on 6 and the other on 11. Let's look at the possible moves here. So what this card meant to say was 8 times 11 is equal to 88. So I move this 2 steps. So we double click on the card that has 88 and then click on next to afford the red player the opportunity to play. So now it's the turn of red to play. Now, check this out. The scroll buttons have disappeared from the top and the down. Why? Because we're just left with 3 cards to play. We have already eliminated 2 cards. So it's only 3 cards that will display on the game for the player red. So we see that the scroll buttons have disappeared. So now we have one play piece on 8 and another play piece on 5. We look out for possible moves to make. If we wanted to play 2 times 8, we realize that 2 is so far away. 2 is 3 steps away and we only have 2 moves to make. So 2 times 8 is not an option for this move. And then also 10 times, let's say 7, is also not a possible option because that will mean 4 moves. So we need to make a move that draws us closer to our next move. So let's move this to 3 because we are intending to play 2 times 8, which is equal to 16. So we click on play and you can read it here. It says, do you want to proceed without playing a card? Obviously we cannot play a card. So we just click yes and afford the next player the opportunity to play. It's the turn of player blue. Now for player blue also has 3 cards left and has one play piece on 11, another play piece on 8. So we realize that player blue can also make a move, but can also not play any card. So we make a move that draws us closer to playing a card on our next turn. So let's intend to play 12 times 6 in our next move. So we move this to 6 and then we click on play. And do you want to proceed without playing a card? We click yes. And now it's the turn of player red. Remember, we moved one of our play piece to 3 so that we could play 2 times 8 in our next move. So we move from here to 2 and then you see 2 times 8 is equal to 16. We click on next. It's now the turn of blue to play. So player blue has one piece on 6 and the other on 11. We wanted to play 12 times 6, which is equal to 72. So we move this 1 step and that will mean 6 times 12 is equal to 72. We double click on the card to eliminate it and then we click on next. Now it's the turn of red. And red can make 2 moves. So this was what I was trying to explain. We have 18 here. 2 times 9 is equal to 18. But you realize that we don't have it in the guideline here. So 2 other numbers or 2 different numbers can multiply to give 18. It was intended here by per the guideline that 3 times 6 was equal to 18, but also 2 times 9 is equal to 18. So we move our piece to 9, and that will mean 2 times 9 equals 18. So we double click on the card and we've played it. We click on next to give the next player the chance to play. Now player blue has one piece on 12 and the other on 6, and has these cards to play. We move this to 5 and move this one step to 1, and that will give us 5 times 1 equals 5. So we double click on that card and then click on next. Now it's the turn of player red. Player red has one play piece on 9 and the other on 2. But we have these numbers 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 and 120. So what move would we make to get these products? So we move our play piece towards 12 to enable us play 12 times 10, which will be equal to 120 on our next 10. So we give blue the opportunity to play by pressing play, and then it asks, do you want to proceed without playing a card? We click on yes. It's now the turn of blue. I want to play 9 times 1 here, which will be equal to 9. So I have one play piece on 5, another on 1. I'll move closer to 9 and then click on play, and then click on yes. It's now the turn of red, and remember we intended to play 10 times 12, which is equal to 120. So we need to move this one step and then click on our card. Now you'd be wondering, why has the game not ended since red has finished his cards? But remember, red started the game, so blue still has one turn to play. We click on next, and we wanted to play 9 times 1 here, so we move this 2 steps. If I double click on this card, the computer is going to make an exciting noise and tell us that it's a tie. So that's our game. It ended in a tie. You can click on restart to start a new game, or click on the restart below here to start a new game until the next upgrade of Timesple multiplication game. We'll catch you on the flip side.